Well, so I've been working on the truck. 2 days ago, I decided, hey, I'm gonna fix an oil leak. Needless to say, I broke something and I waited till today to get it in. It's down at the post office box, or Aj's mailbox, or wherever it is. Anyhow, I am going to drive the bicycle down to pick it up because I don't want to walk and I don't want to destroy what little I know. It doesn't look like I made progress in here, but I have made considerable progress. I have reorganized and relocated some other things and found a hidey hole where I can move stuff to. Not in the floor. But I gotta get the bike down and get it ready. I'm bringing me a spare battery and some water. I shouldn't need the spare battery, but I'm bringing it too. And I also have to go grab me a key so I can access it. But most people don't even see the bike whenever they come in here. So anyhow, it's right there in my messy house. Yeah, that's a good view. Right there, that's a good view. And I'm slowly strengthening up some stuff too because I'm tired of my house becoming a mess every time I go down a bumpy road. So I got the 3D printer tied down now. And it's gonna have a better spot. Hopefully it won't fall off to its death. I kinda need it. So there's that. And then the whole project area is gonna have to be cleaned again too. It's been windy, horribly bad wind today, which has not made it a very fun day to be here, but anyhow, we're going to ride down there. But we have a battery on here from yesterday. We rode over to Brady's house. And we went over to Brady's house and visited him because I wanted to visit him one last time before I take off. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up missing Aja by about 1 day from her getting here, but I also know that I have 2 weeks to drive about 13 hours, which sounds like a lot, but there's a lot to see between here and there. Plus, if I run into a problem early on and it takes a couple days to get there, I want to be that figured out. I don't think we will run into a problem, but I also want to give myself time to get repairs in the middle of nowhere if I do. I'm not late to that job. I really do not want to be late to that job, which is weird. I know, right? Alright. That's it with the wheels on. That's the hard part. Now we gotta get out of here, which is the other hard part. And then we get the backpack on. I think I'll throw some sunblock on and throw some glasses on. There's that. There's that. We're gonna go. We got power. Okay, sweet. Just see if you can set you all up in a way that you can watch me pedal. I plan on pedaling as much as I possibly can because, well, I need the exercise. Oh my god, that camera's gonna look horrible. I don't think you did that video. Alright, so we're headed out. We're going to the mailbox from Aj's property. This is earlier this year, and it's to replace my oil pressure line from my truck. I was trying to... Actually, I don't even remember what I was doing. I think I was trying to reinstall the old one to see if I was getting a better oil pressure thing, because I was thinking, well, I might as well hook up the old gauge so that one line, or the on-dash one works, so I didn't have to have that extra gauge there. I was going to rip it out because it was reading high all the time. Well, it didn't go that well. I ended up breaking the new line compression thing. Couldn't get the old one on there. So I went ahead and ordered a new extension and a new connection kit just to make it better and so I can read it better. At this point in time, my oil pressure reads excellent. Oh look, there's my fence. Oh, not my fence. It's always just fence before everyone can see it. I wish I would have done a better job, had more time to do it. It will eventually get done if she lets me do it and fixes it. If not, everyone will just see it and complain about it because it's ugly. I don't know if that's what's going on. I can't do anything about it at this point in time. Horrible downsides of this bike is it needs a new derailleur on it. It needs a new derailleur because if you don't keep pedaling while you're going down the road rough, it'll fall off. Okay. We got the package. We had a little mishap right at the cattle gate here. I hit the bumps there right at the start of it. I was going to speed. Next thing I know, my battery fell off and went flying. I had no power, so I went back and put it on. I get halfway down the road between the mailbox and the cattle gate, and I looked down and my tie, the lock was off, and my front tire is just hanging on by a thread. One bump away from falling off and me eating the dirt. But other than that, it's doing okay. Yeah, that's 3 or 4 miles or so. We are now going to go back the other way a few miles. Make sure I have my phone in my pockets. Everything's where it is. We need to build a mountain for this. We just drop it over there. Yep, more mountains. We got back with our parts. This is a, when I was working on it the other day, this piece broke. And since it's so far back in there, I went ahead and got a long extender piece for the oil pressure thing. So I'm gonna go pull my plug I got in there, kind of loose in there, shove this in there, and then I'm gonna put this back in and get the truck back up and going. That's basically all we're waiting on that, and I was gonna clean up in here, but I can clean. All right. we are pretty much done with everything we can get done other than what might show up on the road. There shouldn't be anything that shows up on the road. Got it cleaned up here. We got the back kind of clean. We got the truck hooked up. We're fixing to leave Panda Ranch. I appreciate being able to stay here and work on stuff too. Thank you, Panda Ranch. We're gonna pull around here and we're gonna start moving. Still pulls a lot. Sure does pull a lot easier without towing. It should do okay. There's some trash of mine. Hang on, I grab that. That blew out the other day, and I don't want to leave any trash here if I can leave it. Trash, my trash. Alright. We gotta dump our tanks and then we can get down the road. That truck really does pull quite a bit on this engine and suspension and everything else. Once it get moving, it's not so bad, but you can tell it when you first take off how much more it pulls on everything. There goes Panda Ranch. We might look at downsizing to a lighter rig. One thing I gotta do before we leave. Farther down just to get it to move. That's the part of the lack of power. Normally I'd move within a quarter of the pedal being pushed down. But this whole time I've had to bottom it out and almost give it full throttle to hardly get anything out of it. I also been blowing a bunch of white smoke. Now I've had the valve covers off of it looking for oil squirting around the injectors because that's where I thought it was. However, I could never see it. So I kind of ruled that out, thought maybe a high pressure oil pump or something like that. Or a bad cylinder. I have a little of steam coming off of the whenever I'm running it. But that wasn't the cause. I was also thinking maybe I had too much weight in it. We know now that none of those were the conditions. I know where the problem's at now, and I kind of have it partially fixed. We'll go into that a little bit later on. To Grand Canyon National Park. We're doing a test, and it's like, well, if we're coming up this far, we might as well just start heading along. I have 2 weeks at this time to get to that job, and I really want to get there because I just want to have a good work review for them so I can do this job in the future. I think it's going to be a awesome opportunity in my life. You might ask, what job is it? Well, how can I say? I can't tell you what company I work from. I can't show you any of my duties of my job. Alright, so far we're doing okay coming up here, although driving along I hear the thung thung, like something got caught under the tire. I didn't see anything, but I thought, well, maybe I blew a tire, so I went back and checked. All tires are good. I went ahead and checked the hubs. That right hub on the truck is hot again. I can still touch it, so it's not too hot to touch, so it's probably just, I mean, it could be the brake buddy. We still haven't fixed that thing, and that's a horrible thing. We might mess with the brake buddy here in a little while and see what's going on there. Make sure everything's working right. I have a new design that I'm going to work on. Probably going to get it done on the way up there. But we are here in the... still feels a little noisy, rattly. Just the right term of it. We're here in the Grand Canyon. We're going through it. We're taking a shortcut. Anyhow, we'll keep going. We'll stop somewhere and check that front tire out. Probably have them check out when we have them fix the back tire. I don't know what that noise was. The only thing you can conclude is we had a rock in between our treads and it finally let loose. That is a possibility. That could have been what it was. Alright, well, let's get on the road. If you pay attention to it as we go down in elevation here from Grand Canyon down to regular elevations, you're going to see the trees just slowly change. Since we're going through it really fast, you'll actually get to see it happen faster. So you can actually see the point when we go from the tall trees down to the shrubs down to no trees. And that's partly because we're dropping in elevation. So we're going from a higher moisture climate down to a drier climate. I always find that interesting whenever I'm doing like time lapses while driving of just watching the tree cover change from one to the other. It's really cool whenever I went from my south camp to my north camp to where I'm at now. Because you're going over a mountain pass, no cell phone signal, and you're coming down, next thing you know you're in a desert like this and you're like, wait, when did that happen? I think we got it whipped. We're still sitting at a full tank at 85 miles. Usually it takes 65 miles for it to get in. And whenever I let off the throttle, we don't have the slow decline on the speedometer like it is never letting loose. So I don't want to say it's a whole problem, but replacing that automatic transmission, so we got a good temperature reading, so it disconnected the torque converter. I think that's probably what we ended up doing. Look, there's a schoolie type vehicle. There's lots of them that are creating those, so they're easier to work on, I think. Kind of similar setup, but I think we got a lot of it. It still sounds like it misses every now and again. That might just be a bad injector. We can do that with the continuity test. We're not going to do that right now. Anyhow, we're out of the Grand Canyon. Part of the things that makes the Grand Canyon so big is the uphill you go. When you come from a valley up, you go up about 2,000 feet. When you come from this side up to the Grand Canyon, you go up about, I want to say 2,000 to 4,000 feet, because I'm not sure, but I think it's like 4,000 feet down here. We was at 6,000 feet this morning, or earlier. I don't know if it is this morning. It was 25 through there. It's kind of slow through there. But yeah, and then we had like 30 miles outside the canyon. You can see the raised section over there. I don't know if you can or not. That raised section right there is the Grand Canyon, and this is all just one big downhill this whole way. And then we're going to have more downhill because we're going to go north from here, and we drop down quite a bit. Regarding that, I need to check my messages and everything else. But I think that's the transmission issue, is that. And our temperature never got above 180 on the transmission, and never got above 200 on the engine. Fuel pressure stayed 60, and the turbo maxed out at 13 psi several times. So at this point, other than maybe a missing injector, which we'll just replace the injectors. If it ends up being a bad injector, we'll just replace them all with a stage 1.5 or stage 2 injector to give us more power. We'll have to get a chip for that too whenever we do that. That'll be down the road thing. But regardless, I think we'll be able to get up through the mountains and get up to the next destination. Every time we almost leveled out or even had a slight incline, we could speed up, and only on the really steep ones do we slow down to 20. So I really think we got it kind of knocked out. There is a horrible drone, and that's probably because I took the resonator off of this, and that's what they said would come from it. Probably the first upgrade, provided all the injectors are working good, we'll probably be trying to figure out a way to put a turbo intercooler on this, because I read I can get like 75 extra horsepower out of the engine with that, and it also makes the exhaust gas temperatures cooler, and it's just literally running plumbing, which is really easy, and there's not much mechanical. We just pull the air off the turbo and run it through a cooler on the front of the rig, and then bring it back in, which will cool it down and also make it a little bit more powerful. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I gotta check my phone now. We got all the exhaust leaks sealed. That's why we're having such active turbo. We got new valve cover gaskets, which was part of our electrical issues and not running certain ones. And we got the new connection on the transmission going to the valve body, and I think those are the 3 or 4 ones that actually made the biggest difference on everything. So we did run a new wiring harness. I didn't change anything after that, so yeah. And there's probably an injector in there or something like that. We'll do the test later for that, but right now I want to see the sights. I've been messing with this vehicle stuff for way too long. And there is some other work that needs to be done, but it doesn't feel like it needs to be done right now. So from here we'll probably go up to, I want to meet up with Jason and Jen. They don't know I want to meet up with them yet, but they're north of Page, and I got to go east of Page. I want to go to the Monument Valley here and see up some stuff up that way, but I'll holler at them and see where they're at here in just a second and go from there.